What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beers and. Today, we're going to be talking about beers and baseball. Hey-o. I keep saying hey-o at the end of those. I'm going to stop.
I like it.
I'm going to stop.
I like
It's
it.
becoming part of the intro.
That's fine.
Yeah.
The entire time we've been doing this, by the way. Hi, everybody. We're going to change this up. I'm Nick.
Oh, hey, Nick.
And this is my buddy over here. This is Alex.
Alex, sorry, I didn't know what to do normally.
I'm sorry.
I don't do it this
I know.
way.
30 episodes. We're going to switch it up on 31.
Oh, too much.
Every time we've been, I was trying to do research for today's episode. I kept thinking of like baseball been very good to me.
Yeah. Who was that? Was that Roberto Clemente?
I want to say yes.
I think so.
But damned if I know.
I think so.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We're having another peach beer.
We are.
Yeah, this one's a Gusher Series from Lone Eagle Brewing.
Yes, this was a selection from the lovely Nicole Fortier.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, she picked this up from the brewery itself, from Lone Eagle in beautiful Fleming, New Jersey. It is a sour ale. It is described as a kettle acidified gusher, is exploding with flavor from the addition of boysenberry. This lesser-known berry adds a juicy flavor similar to blackberry and raspberry that leans into the tart base of this ruby-colored beer.
Oh, interesting. I didn't find that anywhere that there's boysenberry in here.
I could have read the wrong one, but I mean, it seemed to go along the lines with it. So
Cool.
We'll go with that.
We were just talking off camera. I had a boysenberry porter last weekend, and actually the other night went back.
Oh, you did go back
for another one, yeah.
That sounds delicious.
It was, like I say it all the time, I don't really give dark beers enough love. So I saw it there, and I love boysenberries. Thank you, IHOP. Boysenberry syrup.
Oh, my God, really?
That was the first place I had boysenberry.
I don't think I've ever had a good experience at an IHOP, but I'm glad that someone can go ahead and
that.
report back something positive.
I believe that.
I remember very, very young, I had spent an evening with our buddy Dan and Kyle, and at like 6 o'clock in the morning, we were like, we should go to IHOP. And I remember that my Maxima, Maxine, the lady with all the right moves, the defog didn't work. So I remember at all of the stoplights, I would have to stop and like defog it myself, and remember thinking like, this is not a good idea. I shouldn't be out driving.
Incredibly inefficient.
Oh, what a son of a bitch I was at 19.
That was a big thing for us. Like sometimes
being sons of bitches.
Well, yeah, but sometimes staying up through the night and then realizing like, oh, it's 4 a.m. Like, let's just stay up another 2 hours and then we'll all go get breakfast.
I love the fact now that everybody I have spoken with has come to the conclusion that they've felt really kind of like shitty in the morning, and almost everybody I've spoken with recently, it has not been because, they were out drinking all night. It's because like, we were out till midnight, and then we came home and it was like 1, and we realized you're not supposed to stay out till 1 anymore unless there's absolutely a reason.
Not anymore.
No, not at all. Right. 1 o'clock in the morning. My God. Taboo.
Even though I routinely stay up till then.
If I'm at home even then.
Routinely.
No. Good on you.
So, peach gusher sour.
I'm excited for this one. Let's crack it.
Let's do a question of the day. This one was a little selfish, I would say. But I want to know if you can name 3 modern baseball players. Players that are playing right now.
Ty Diggs. No.
Nope.
No.
That's an actor.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. He was part of my crossword puzzle this morning.
Okay.
I apologize. No. I knew that wasn't right. Oh, my God. Can I name...
Maybe not. Alex Rodriguez.
Does Alex Rodriguez still play?
Answer.
Why not? I feel like I've already really shown my full colors. Oh no, because I know that there's been a guy on Reddit who's been drawing this one baseball player every day. Oh my God. I've never been so mortified in my entire life.
There's quite a few.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, how about this?
God, this might be one of the saddest moments.
I finally stumped you, I think.
You know what? It really goes back, if I'm not mistaken, a couple episodes ago, the description of the episode was, and Nick makes us shows he knows a thing about sports, or Nick says a sports thing. Damn it.
Okay, I'll give you a couple.
All right.
I'll give you a couple of the all-stars. I mean, like 23 years and younger superstars right now.
Okay.
Well, one of them's actually son of a former all-star, Fernando Tatis. So Fernando Tatis Jr. He's like
FTJ
22. Yes, for short.
Fidge.
That's what he goes by. You know.
Well, no, that's
short.
That's only what his real fans call him.
Right,
I didn't know who you're talking about unless.
Right, of course. He's like 22 years old and like ridiculous. Who's Bryce Harper? You know that name? No, that's at least a little while ago. How about I know you know Albert Pujols. He doesn't play anymore, but no. Okay, I'm just gonna. That'll be the end of that portion.
Does El Duque still play?
No, but that's a great name drop.
Thanks. I can do that one.
Orlando Hernandez.
Yes, that was yeah. Because there was that they made a remix of the way that he used to pitch.
Oh, the way
it was
he
like
pitched,
the
yeah.
do the
It's
El
wicked.
Duque.
He had the like curl up his body into a ball and then release like a cobra. It was really weird.
Oh man, I've never.
I'm gonna start naming some, and you're gonna know these names. Derek Jeter.
He doesn't still play, does he?
No.
Oh
No.
I know Derek
Jeter. Now I'm
Jeter.
giving you a pass. Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
Pedro Martinez.
Of course.
Cy Young.
Yeah.
Very old player.
Yeah.
He's an award named after
I know.
him.
I can do Mike Piazza.
That's
I
a
can
good one.
I can do Mike Messina.
Also a good one.
Yeah, I can do that one. I
Greg
can
Maddux.
I can Cal Ripken Jr.
That's a good one. We're gonna talk about him later.
Oh, are we?
He holds a record. Did you know?
I think I did.
Okay.
I could do Hank Aaron,
Also a good one.
Casey Stengel.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, Casey Stengel. I read a book about him once.
Do you know Shoeless Joe Jackson?
I'm familiar with.
How about Catfish Hunter?
Well, I mean, who isn't?
Okay.
Now we're getting patronizing.
That's a real baseball name, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Catfish. Okay, good.
I just listened to a podcast about Satchel Paige.
I feel like I know that name, but the player doesn't ring a bell. Is that Satchmo? No, that was a trumpet player.
Yeah, that was Louis Armstrong.
Right.
Yeah. Well, instead of going ahead and making me feel terrible, let's because we've checked that one off the list.
Let's get into
for
something
today.
more objective.
So, by the way, if you're watching, this is not ruby colored. So what I
It's
read was
not
the
actually.
incorrect definition. Or
I'll
the
tell you what, though.
incorrect
This
background.
smells very tart.
Ooh, it does.
Like it smells like it's going to be Warhead Sour.
Ooh, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it's much sweeter than I thought.
It is, and you know what's kind of funny when you said Warhead Sour? When it first touched the very tip of my tongue,
Yeah.
I was waiting for it because it's got the
It
almost
feels
that sort
like
of
it's
like
going to be.
yeah, almost got that like tingly element that you're expecting for it to. I think we were talking about it with another sour not too long ago. How you almost get that like salivation
Yeah.
that starts to come about.
Yeah.
I was expecting for that to happen, but it didn't.
So if anything, it's 6.8%.
Okay.
It's set. You know, how, like we've seen sours, Berliner Weiss, or tart ale, or what's another one? You know, what have you? This one just very plainly says American sour beer.
Oh, all right. I don't know why.
So maybe it, you know, like we just talked about with whiskey in, you know, Tennessee, maybe American sour is a style.
Well, I guess instead of it being like an American ale.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess
American
that's
kettle.
probably
It's probably just like a kettled sour, and American
Yeah.
sour is like marketing.
It's nice. It is.
like
it is quite sweet.
It's a lot sweeter than I thought it was, but I don't think it's too sweet.
No. On the front it is.
Yeah,
On the front it really, really is. But it doesn't again linger. It doesn't make me want to like grind my teeth at all. It's not doing that marshmallow junk that usually winds up happening.
And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, there's no marshmallow in here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw the can date, and I was like, oh no, I don't know, but it's pretty good. This is
What is it?
all
What
the way
is-
back in September.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so actually a little bit ago, September 21st or 14th,
Oh,
24th.
I quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's drinking really nicely, so
You know
I don't
why?
think there's anything wrong with it.
It's my Nick's birthday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. There you go. September 24th.
Happy almost halfay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Now that we're both over 30, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. I know.
Nope. Nope.
It still makes you feel like there's something to, like look forward to.
Does it?
No,
Well,
I don't think so.
Listen, I mean, I look forward to mine still, no matter what.
We're quite a while away from ours. They just
I mean, I guess so.
they just passed.
All right.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Although every day we move, just a little bit closer.
That is true.
We'll be closer tomorrow than we were today.
Wise beyond your years, good sir.
That's what they say.
That is what
That's what they tell me.
what they tell you. Oh boy, I like this though. It is nice. I'm not getting the peach is present.
Yeah.
However, I don't feel like if I gave this to someone and said, "Here's a sour, give it a shot. What do you think the underlying flavor is?" I don't know if peach would necessarily come to mind. Is that me or like
No,
I don't?
I can see that. It's muted. It's definitely muted.
Yeah,
It's more subtle.
it's more sour overall.
Yeah.
Than peach sour.
I wonder if that's what they were going for. Like Gusher Series.
Perhaps it is nice. I do like it.
It is. It's very drinkable.
Low ABV. I like the can art a lot.
I think that it drinks like it's even lower. Like this drinks like a light beer.
Yeah.
to me.
You think so? Lower than 6.8? Yeah.
Yeah, almost 7. Yeah, I think this drinks lower.
Yeah. It is very nice though. So it's actually
It's very smooth.
it says that it is made from tons of real peaches.
Tons.
Tons.
I actually wouldn't even mind if they threw Gushers in
I'm just happy it doesn't say a
with it.
copious amount of real peaches.
tons. Just a lesser adjective for it.
Yeah, bold, brave, and adventurous. It is quite nice.
It is very nice. I'm a little lower, but I think it's very nice.
What's your little lower?
Like right around 3.6,
Okay.
probably.
Yeah, I was thinking right around.
Maybe even 3.4.
I was gonna say I was thinking like a 3.5-ish.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.4.
It's very nice. I would like a little bit more of that distinct, I think, peach to come through.
Definitely.
Almost, and I know like something like this would be almost difficult to probably achieve. Even if it had this initial sour, but then mellowed to leave a lingering taste of peach, I'd be okay with it. But I'm not really getting too much of that at all.
And although like we have to take into account that in December or in November, this beer may have had more.
It's true.
Peach flavor.
Because I think you looked up. This is no longer on
Yeah, it wasn't
tap.
even on the website.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know what? All right. So I'm gonna actually adjust, and I'm gonna go up to a 3.6 and give it a higher grade because
Based on-
it's so old.
Yeah.
But it still retains flavor, and like I've had beers that are old that don't taste good, but this tastes fine.
Yeah, that I wouldn't have expected for it to have been canned nearly, almost 5 months ago at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. Good
So,
call.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. So you said what, 3.5?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, we're right there.
Yeah.
We're both in the same spot again.
Beautiful.
That is lovely.
Next up on that,
Next up at bat.
player number 1, Alex Chulala.
Did you see when the first MLB game was played?
1903.
Okay, so I saw that too. No, I saw that too. And I also found something else. I found that the first MLB game was played in 1876.
So I believe, and I could be mistaken. Let me
Check the notes.
refer to the notes here. I have that. What was the year you had? Sorry?
I saw the first MLB game was played in 1876, April 22nd of 1876.
Oh no, see, I don't have that at all.
But I saw 1903 too. So here's what I found through a little bit of digging. 1903 was the first year that the MLB played a World Series.
Oh,
So
okay.
I wonder if that information is pertinent to, like, this is when the MLB really hit its stride. Now there's the World Series.
Could it also have been, and I'm just speculating here, could it have been a situation where perhaps all of those teams were playing in some sort,
Could be because
almost like an unofficial sort of league, and 1903 was maybe like when the league officially then came about?
So I thought that too, but
Yeah.
what I the first recorded baseball game ever was played 30 years prior to 1876.
Correct, in 1846.
Yep, in 1846. But that was also that was dubbed a professional baseball game.
Correct.
But not from the MLB.
Right.
So that's why I thought that maybe this holds some truth that in 1876 the MLB was started. It only started with 8 teams. So maybe that small league isn't considered to be, the start of. I don't know.
This is an interesting one.
Those are the dates we have.
Yeah, now that you're throwing it out there at me.
Right. So anyway, I got into not the first MLB game, but the first recorded baseball game.
Okay.
Like we said, June 19th, 1846.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Mutuals defeated the Knickerbockers, named after, I didn't know, the New York's Volunteer Knickerbocker Engine Company.
Yes.
They won 23-1 in the 4-inning game.
Yeah.
Played at New Jersey's Elysian Fields.
Yep.
It's too cool. Somehow we always take it back to Jersey, too.
Listen, because people underestimate us.
It's true.
All that, you're just the armpit of America.
Which may be true, but
you know what I say to that?
Not every armpit stinks. And that also. So at the time of this game in 1846, baseball's first superstar, who I'm not familiar with, Jim Creighton, who was also the inventor of the curveball.
Oh.
So kind of a big deal. Was only 5 years old.
I'm sorry.
At the time of this game.
Oh, you
so
mean...
this is how far in advance, we saw the real rise of baseball superstardom in a player. He was only 5 years old in 1846 when this first professional game happened.
Interesting.
Yes.
Huh. See, that I didn't know.
The referee for the game, that position later named the umpire, Alexander Cartwright was the dude's name, and he was called the father of the game. A lot of people refer to him as the father of baseball. He was a major contributor to modern American baseball at this time. And so in age 16, this is kind of how he came about. He was a bank clerk. And after hours, he would go and play bat and ball games with volunteer firefighters.
Well, that would make sense now that you say it out loud. New York Mutual was a bank.
Yes.
Or is, I believe, still a bank.
Maybe, yeah. I think it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would play bat and ball games with them. And then fast forward like 10 years later, he actually organized, I don't know if it was the first, but organized his baseball club called the Knickerbockers.
Interesting.
In the 1840s. So he served as the secretary of the team in 1846, the team's vice president from 47 to 48, and was even on the team's rule committee during that time.
Huh.
So in the article, and I don't know if you went into this, but Abner Doubleday is the person who's been credited with creating the game of baseball, but that's not true.
That to me is one of the things that I found fascinating is that every article, every piece of information I came across noted how Doubleday was given the credit for, despite the fact that he wasn't. Like every article basically pretty much said like, everyone says it's this guy, but it's not. Yeah. So you would almost think like, folks, then stop saying that he is if he wasn't.
I read an article from someone, and they interviewed an employee at Cooperstown, the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame. And somebody actually is on record saying that everyone knows that Abner Doubleday didn't invent baseball, but at this point, we still tell everyone that because of the mythology and the lore and, the tradition of it. So, like, they've acknowledged that this is not true, and they continue to tell us anyway.
So it seems that the reason why he was named it, so for a long time it was believed that, again, so I didn't know this part, that he was actually a general in the Civil War. The claim being that he invented the game in Cooperstown in 1839.
Right.
However, it seems, again, that he wasn't, but that they said that he was in an effort to prove that baseball originated in the U.S.
Right.
Implying that it wasn't.
Right. So an interesting little tidbit that came about when I was reading the article about the first game. I didn't get the guy's name, but I can look that up later. This guy who happened upon this game is he's a Brit, longtime cricket fan.
Yes.
You have the guy's name? If you don't, it's not a big deal. But this gentleman who was a Brit happened upon this New York the Knickerbocker and the New York Mutual game and was fascinated by it because he loved cricket. And this gentleman actually is the one who helped along baseball as far as quantifying like measurements.
Yeah.
So he came up with ERA,
Oh.
earned run average.
Yeah,
He came
yeah,
up
yeah.
with batting average. Like he came up with a lot of the metrics that help define the game.
I just have that it was invented by a Brit. However, I want to say that I might actually still have the page open that I was referring to. So I could actually go ahead and give you that proper information.
If you can.
I believe that I might be able to.
Something that I wanted to touch on now that I actually brought it up is, the metrics of baseball.
Yes.
They are incredibly diverse at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like baseball is, I think, the most measurable sport statistically.
It is fascinating the way that it is done. Because, I mean, again,
A lot of it's over my head, but, here's just some examples. We have the basic ones like batting average. But then tied into that, they have this thing called WOBA, which stands for weighted on base average. So somebody takes into account every ball that is hit by a player and how hard that ball was hit and where it goes. And you can actually statistically figure out by how hard a ball is hit and at the angle of trajectory, how likely it is that not only will that be a hit, but like a double or a triple by just these metrics. And then, it goes into like fly ball rate, ground ball rate. They measure all that stuff. There's one really interesting that always stands out in my mind. The acronym is BABIP.
Yeah.
So it's batting average on balls in play. So it takes into account only the balls that have been hit in the field of play. Home runs don't count.
Yeah.
And outs don't count. So anything that hits the ground. And then they calculate your average on that. So some people have
oh my God,
super high BABIPs because a lot of their in-play balls are not playable by the defense.
I know this is a hot take, but it seems like boxing is incorrectly named the sweet, what's it called? The sweet science?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It
baseball.
sounds really incorrect because
Yeah,
baseball definitely seems to be that one.
Baseball's got all the metrics. And actually, Amazon now does this thing called StatCast. It used to be Google who did it.
Mm-hmm.
And they have something called in every stadium now a batter's eye that is directly out in center field, straight away from the home plate. And it measures the speed and the trajectory and all that stuff of the ball.
Yeah.
And then you can go in and Amazon Web Services has what's called StatCast leaderboards. And it breaks it up into players who have the most 95 plus mile an hour ball hits.
Get the
or
hell out
the
of
angle,
here.
Yeah, or the angle. And there's something called the sweet spot
Yeah.
on a baseball bat.
Yes.
I don't know if you got into that, but it's actually like a measurement, and it's between 5 and 7 inches from the barrel.
Okay.
So if somebody hits a ball with the sweet spot, it has a much better chance at going out. But they can actually measure each player's sweet spot percentage with the batter's eye.
It's wild because, I tried to figure out where do I put my focus on this. You want to talk about a rabbit hole of a topic. This is undoubtedly one of them. To answer your question from earlier, the name of the cricket reporter is Henry Chadwick.
Yep, that's it.
And again, he was born in Exeter. And again, he's the one, like you said, that went ahead and did a lot of the box score, created the stats system.
Yes.
He also edited the first baseball guide sold to the public.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then he helped make the sport popular, which is why he is often referred to as the father of baseball, which
It's
I think
awesome.
is wild.
It's awesome.
Wild.
Yep.
It's fascinating because the fact is that I would love to get into cricket then at the same time because it seems like it's such a crazy sport.
Cricket is crazy. The way they bounce that ball at the batter.
Oh my!
And then that batter launches it 400 feet, but then somebody's still running out. It's crazy.
They're the wickets and
the score is 80 to 20 sometimes. I'm like, how? I don't understand.
These games will go on for hours and sometimes days at a time. I don't get it at all, but it is fascinating nonetheless.
Definitely.
So I went down, to start with, if anything, I went down a route that would be much more familiar to me, or much more interesting for me. So I decided to actually go into haunted stadiums.
I love this.
Haunted baseball stadiums. And for reference, if anything, everything that I have here is from either MLB, ESPN, Sports Events Media Group, or cometoplay.co.uk.
Nice.
So one of the top ones that they mention is Frontier Field. and it is home of the AAA minor team, the Rochester Red Wings.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. The
familiar.
AAA Rochester Red Wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rumor is that bones were found when the building, when the stadium was actually being built. They were never actually able to confirm whether or not these were human bones or if they were animal bones, but they think that that's part of the reason why this stadium might be haunted.
Interesting.
The grounds had once housed a paper company and a warehouse that had burned to the ground at one point, and it was said that the paper company had already been haunted by the janitor, and then once they took that down, that the janitor just stayed and continued then to haunt the stadium.
That's awesome.
Eventually, they brought in independent investigators, and they claimed that they had seen many ghosts. Many of them were nice and would often ask if they were there to see the game. Some of them were much more belligerent and challenging, often seen as floating heads. The the clubhouse master claims that screams can often be heard coming from up and down of the freight elevator shaft.
Oh my God.
This is the one that kind of freaks me out.
Screams can often be heard.
Often be heard.
Often.
Thousands of crows appear at the stadium between January and February all day long. They're present throughout the day and overnight as well. There are just thousands of crows that show up. Prior to moving to the stadium, apparently the team had done really well. They were really successful. And then once they moved to this stadium in 97, everything kind of fell apart. They only made the playoffs twice since they had moved in. And that's when things went south. Good old Wrigley Field, home of the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
They've had a number of claims from groundskeepers and securities that it's haunted as well, that there is a phone that will often ring randomly. Do you know the story at all?
No.
So the legend is that former player and manager Charlie Grimm is making pitching changes to the bullpen. And the reason why they think that, again, that this is particularly haunted is because the bullpen phone is a direct line from the dugout. So there's no...
Right. It's a closed line.
Yeah. So there's no way that an outside call...
That's the phone that rings?
Yes. That is the phone that rings.
Oh, my God.
And then the last one that I have is from... is at Dodger Stadium in L.A. So apparently there are many ghosts that are allegedly seen here.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, neither am I. Including a couple who had been on their honeymoon had fell to their deaths at one point. So the employees claimed to see a woman, usually wearing white, diving off of the cliffs.
Oh my God.
Outside the stadium. And this is the one where no fucking duh, you're going to be haunted. The Hebrew Benevolent Society used to have a cemetery that they wound up moving so they could build the parking lot for Dodger Stadium.
Oh.
So apparently,
that's good.
Yeah,
Just
right.
mass excavation of graves.
Of graves, just to go ahead and don't get me wrong, I understand. Love a good baseball game, but doesn't seem like it's worth going ahead and disturbing the dead.
No.
Maybe that's just me.
No.
Maybe I'm selfish in life.
No.
Oh, okay. Good.
No,
you know what?
I'm
Listen,
with you.
You've said all the right things to me so far.
Thank you. I'm actually going to let you pick because I can't decide what I want to end with. So I have some really interesting baseball facts and stats. Mm-hmm. Or we could go on a tour down Conspiracy Avenue, and we could find out why baseball may or may not be tied into Freemasons.
Listen, I know that when you brought this topic up, you had specifically mentioned to me, you were like, there's a whole conspiracy around...
It's wild.
Freemasonry.
All right, so let's go with that.
Well, buckle up and take me on down Conspiracy Avenue.
Conspiracy Avenue. Okay, here we go. So this is how this came about. Years ago, in passing, I saw either a meme or a post online, and I mean years ago, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, about how if you took a baseball diamond, if you were looking at it from home plate, if you look at it aerial view from the outfield, looking towards the catcher's spot, it looks like the Freemason compass and square. And actually the outfield wall makes up the barrier on the bottom. You're familiar with the shape?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Let me pull up the picture.
Oh, God. Yeah, the baseball diamond, yes.
No, I meant the Freemason.
Oh, yes, I am familiar with that, too. I thought he was just asking. I was going to say,
No.
listen, I know we're all friends.
Okay.
We're having a fun time.
So that's the Freemason,
yes.
the
wow.
Masonic symbol, right?
Huh.
So if you turn it upside down, this would be the outfield wall.
Yeah.
And then this is the first baseline and the third baseline, and the pitcher's mound is in the middle, and then home plate all the way at the top.
Oh.
So this is how this piqued my interest. This is how this came about. And then when I decided to search online, I can't even explain to you the number of websites that I came across that are just straight up, you can tell they're occult websites, but written by someone who's done research on this topic for 30 years. You can just tell. But also then...
Are we a QAnon podcast now?
We might as well be. Also, I saw a lot of YouTube videos relating to this, but I'm going to come in... all I'm going to do is give you the facts.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to do. No speculation here. Just the facts.
Okay.
So I don't know a lot about Freemasons or their culture or their history, but from the reading I did online, it seems that numbers are really important to them, and so are geometric shapes. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the things that it's pointed to, that the players in the game stand on geometric shapes when they play. Yeah. The bases.
Yeah.
Or the pitcher's mound or home plate, what have you. The Grand Lodge of New York, so the Grand Freemason Lodge in New York, in its Livingston Library, had an exhibit on the bases in baseball. So the guy who saw this got to digging and wanted to dig and see how many Freemasons were connected to baseball.
Oh.
So it turns out that some 600 plus confirmed Freemasons were either were either ex-baseball players, or broadcasters, or umpires, anything in the baseball world. 323 baseball Hall of Famers are Freemasons.
Oh, really?
That would be 1 out of every 5 baseball Hall of Famers. So roughly 20%.
Huh.
Roughly 20% are Freemasons. I spoke before about the numbers, sacred numbers in Freemason. From what I could find, 3, 6, and 9 are very important. And I know this just from videos I've listened to about Tesla, because Nikola Tesla spoke of 3, 6, and 9 and how they unlock the keys to the universe.
Right.
So this could be an episode on its own. But anyway, 3, 6, and 9 are known as the sacred numbers in the universe, but also for Freemasons. Some of these numbers show up in the rules and regulations of the game. 3, as in 3 outs per inning, or 3 strikes per out, right? 9.
Or 3 outs. Well, no. There are
3 outs per half inning.
Per half inning. So there are 6. Okay.
9 players on each team. Also 9 innings in each game. 9 times 3 is 27.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
There are 27 outs that you need to get in a game to defeat the other team. 9 times 9 is 81.
Yeah.
There are 81 home games and 81 road games for each team. 162 games in total.
Is that still really?
Yeah, that's still the standard. And then there was some stuff that I didn't really want to get into because it really took you down a rabbit hole. But they spoke about how every other sport is played on either a rectangular field or a rink.
Just for reference, those folks only listening and not watching, I have now sat back in my seat.
Nick, I got Nick.
Because he got the 3 and the 6 and the 9.
Nick is hooked.
Then he started to throw those multiplication at me, the 27 and the 81. I'm like, okay.
Nick's hooked. So,
sorry.
That's all right. I lost my train of thought. Okay. So it even goes further to explain how other sports are played in a finite amount of time. Football game is 60 minutes, right? Basketball game, 4 quarters, 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Baseball is the only game that actually doesn't have a time limit. Baseball is played essentially at the leisure of the teams. The pace of play is obviously a thing, and some pitchers are slower and some pitchers are faster, but baseball doesn't have a set time limit. So the way that it's explained in some of the websites, and like I had to stop after a while because I was like, my head is going to explode. But baseball is compared to like an esoteric ritual.
Yeah.
And it all takes into account like, the people on the bases and the amount of time and the things that happen. Like one of the websites really went into sacrifice flies. Do you know what those are?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's, someone hits the ball up in the air and they catch it. But when they catch it, the runner has time to run to home plate. Usually it's for a run.
Right.
But like that is supposed to be, like ritualistic. Like there was a sacrifice. So the person had to get out for your team to get a run. And then they even break it down further into like names I've never even heard of. But they break down like the pitcher is this name. And like this name, his whole purpose is to split the batter in two. And if the batter can get it out of the, out of whatever, then he has to go and pass by the gates. But, there's gatekeepers. So if someone has the ball, then he can't pass.
Oh, my God.
It was crazy. And like the rabbit hole these people must have went down to connect all this stuff.
So I'm a little curious now that you've brought me onto this. So we already established then that we believe for the actual founder of this game to be this Henry Chadwick.
A British man.
What are the chances you think that Henry Chadwick might have been a Freemason?
Oh man, if that's a thing, then we need to just shut down right now before someone comes and finds us. That would be pretty incredible.
It
actually.
Would be. Let's see.
But yeah, it was a lot of. Then after I gave you guys the stuff that, like I said, I wanted to keep it the facts.
No, yeah,
So I tried to do my best to not objectify these claims. But it all is very, I don't want to say coincidental, but it's all very interesting because there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of similarities drawn.
I'm going to now have to like dive in. Oh, this son of a bitch.
Sleuth night coming up.
Oh, man. Damn it.
Yeah, but that's a good one. So
that's an awesome one.
That's that's right up my alley.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you.
I'll go a little light.
Good luck.
I guess I'll go a little light on this one. Take me out to the ball game.
Classic. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Exactly.
Right.
So, Take Me Out to the Ball Game was written by Jack Norworth and Albert von Tilzer in 1908. Interestingly enough, neither one of them had actually ever been to a game prior to writing the song.
Huh.
When do you think, so they wrote the song in 1908. When do you think they actually went to go and see their first professional baseball game?
10 years later.
Longer.
30 years later.
Jack Norworth did not see his first professional baseball game until 32 years later, and Albert Tilzer was 20 years later.
Wow.
So it was actually really popular, the song, first in like vaudeville acts, and then it was finally played for the first time at a ballpark in 1934.
That was my question. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, and it was actually in 1934 at a high school in Los Angeles.
Oh, interesting.
Los Angeles, and then it was played later that year in the fourth game of the World Series.
Oh, and every game ever since.
Yeah,
Probably.
exactly. During the seventh inning stretch is pretty much when you hear it now. It was also then later selected as one of the top 365 songs of the century.
Oh, wow.
By the National Endowment for the Arts and the Recording Industry Association of America.
Damn.
Right? So in that same vein, and I'll give you 3 shots. What is the highest grossing baseball movie of all time?
Ooh. Newsies.
No.
League of Their Own.
Oh, you cheeky son of a bitch. Did you know that already?
No.
A League of Their Own is the highest grossing baseball
Had to
movie
be.
of all time.
What's the one with a very, very young... Oh, my God. What's the kid's name? he falls on his arm and gets like superpower, and he can throw. He's like a kid, like literally a kid in the movie.
You're not
playing.
thinking of not Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
Was that someone famous in that?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember. That one I don't remember.
I feel like it's
not Charlie Sheen.
No.
Because I was trying to think of that movie as well. Wasn't that the same kid that was like a kid in King Arthur's Court?
Maybe.
I'm curious.
What the heck is his name?
We're
gonna find it right now. Thomas Ian Nicholas?
Doesn't ring a bell.
No, he's in other things.
Is he?
I feel like he is.
Huh.
Anyway,
so since the movie premiered, it's brought in a revenue of $107.5 million.
it's a great movie.
How about then the second place? I've never actually heard of this movie before.
I probably won't get it. That's really. Is it Field of Dreams?
It's not.
Okay.
It's called 42.
Oh yeah, with Chadwick Boseman, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, he was
Good
Jackie
call.
Robinson.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the
I
last
didn't
one
see that.
in third place was a 2011 movie.
I can't think of any. Oh, is
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say it real fast too.
all right? Is it Moneyball?
God damn it!
Yeah.
Very well done.
Hey.
Moneyball is the third highest grossing baseball movie of all time.
I wonder if number 4 is Trouble with the Curve.
That one I don't. That one I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm surprised that A League of Their Own wasn't up there, or even I thought The Natural.
I
Not
never
A League
saw
of Their
The
Own. I'm
Natural.
sorry. Field of Dreams.
Oh yeah.
I would
How about
expect
Angels in the Outfield?
Angels in the Outfield. Classic.
That's a great movie.
Classic
You want to talk
movie.
about one of the maybe the only movie to ever make me cry? Angels in the Outfield.
I believe that.
Hands down.
I believe that, and then at the same time, I also don't believe it, but I believe it.
Flapping the rings, you know.
Oh my
and then
god!
the whole crowd starts flapping the rings. Getting teared up now just talking about it. Anyway, well, that's a good list.
Yeah, right.
That's a good list, top
Not
three.
too bad at all. Not too bad.
I forgot about 1942.
Just 42.
Oh, it's just called
Yep,
42.
just
I
42.
forgot about 42. Yeah, that makes sense.
I've got maybe two other tidbits.
Okay.
How does that sound?
I'm all ears.
Okay. So the most expensive autographed baseball was sold for $191,200.
Yeah.
This is back in 2006.
Yep.
Do you have who it is?
No, I actually remember it
Oh, really?
happening. Yeah, but who was it? Barry Bonds?
No.
Hank Aaron?
No.
No, I don't know.
It was signed by Joe DiMaggio and
Pete Rose?
no,
Derek Jeter? Mickey Mantle?
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, that's random.
Well, no, they were married.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Oh, well.
Like just for her to sign the ball. That's crazy.
Just
though.
for her to sign. It's Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
They got married on my birthday in 1959.
Oh, nice. Good for them. Not the first time you're going to be hearing about Joe DiMaggio.
Oh, no? What do you got?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, all right. I was going to say. I can.
He holds a record.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what record it is? It's the most consecutive games with a hit.
Really?
Yeah, 56.
That's impressive. That sounds
It's
impressive.
a third of a season.
Holy shit.
Some players don't even get a hit in 56 games.
What's the point? What do they do then?
Strike out a lot.
Yeah, like what
Or
are you
play
doing?
defense.
And you're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
Yeah, well, not those guys.
Shame. Shame, I say.
Shame. Shame.
This one I found kind of interesting. So, are you familiar with the Beano T-13?
Definitely not.
Okay. It's a hand grenade. And it's the hand grenade that was used in World War II. And it was specifically designed and shaped to be like that of a baseball. The idea was that Americans would be able to throw with greater accuracy because they had more experience with the game.
That's funny.
So the baseball grenade is what it was referred to as, was developed by the OSS.
I love that.
Yeah, which is like the CIA's predecessor.
Yep.
And was manufactured by Eastman Kodak. Like the...
Kodak camera?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I thought that was great. Like
That's quite the left turn from cameras.
How do we go ahead and beat back the Germans? Oh, we could throw a ball.
Let's get Kodak on the phone.
Yeah, call Kodak for them to design a grenade that's shaped like a baseball. If that's not American ingenuity.
I mean, it worked.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. Again, those bombs, over Japan didn't hurt either. But,
Those were not baseball shaped, I would assume.
No, they weren't.
No. Okay, let's do my favorite thing. Stats and facts.
Stats and facts.
And these are good because it's baseball.
It's like eggs and kegs. Kegs and eggs.
That sounds terrible. I don't want that.
No?
No, thank you.
You've never had a brass monkey?
No.
Oh, my God.
What is that?
Miller High Life and orange juice?
Oh.
I once projectile vomited on the beach whilst talking to the candidate for mayor of Asbury Park.
You did?
Yep.
From Brass Monkeys?
Yep.
Oof.
Yep.
That's an endorsement to not have a brass monkey, if I ever heard one.
In the middle of broad daylight.
Oof.
Yep.
Good times.
Memories.
R.I.P.
All alone in the moonlight.
Okay, so how about this? So I said it before, and I'm not tying it back to that, but the baseball really doesn't have a time limit, which makes it really interesting because some games last a long time and some games last not a long time.
Yeah.
Usually it's about 3 hours.
Okay.
If you turn it on TV, they would have a 3-hour block of time set aside for this game.
Mm-hmm.
The fastest major league game on record, so Major League Baseball, only took 51 minutes. September 19th of 1919.
Oh.
51, under an hour.
Holy shit.
3 years before that, actually, there was an even faster game, but it was not a professional game. I'm sorry. It was a professional game, not a Major League Baseball game. This game only took 31 minutes to complete.
How?
The game was originally scheduled to start at 2 p.m. Not only did it start earlier, but it finished before the official start time of the game. So they must have started this game sometime between 1 and 1:30.
I guess. Yeah, 29.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, at a time, and I realized that we had spoken a couple episodes about when, going back in time, what time would you want to go to, and we both pretty much said these periods when you didn't have so many distractions and whatnot.
Definitely.
But good Lord, imagine not having anything else to do but looking forward to a baseball game. And you knew at least 3 hours of my miserable, potentially polio-inducing life was going to go ahead and be filled up by baseball. And these schmucks finished it in 31 minutes.
Yeah, they did not get their money's worth that
Anger.
day. Yeah.
Anger.
That's a waste of money. Conversely, though, in 1984, the White Sox and the Brewers played the longest game in history.
Okay.
This spanned 8 hours and 6 minutes.
Oh, my God.
With the score tied 3-3 after the 17th inning. So 9 innings, they went extra.
Almost double.
Right. Well, almost triple. They ended the game at night and picked it up the next day. So they only suspended it for a couple hours so the players could get some rest.
Yeah.
And then they brought them back out and they played another 8 innings. 25 innings to a tie. It eventually ended the tie because nobody scored.
Really?
Yeah, so they just called the game.
How frustrating.
Oh, it's got to be so annoying. No, I mean, in recent history, there have been no baseball games besides that have ended in a tie.
I'm gonna recommend. I'm gonna send this to you probably, if anything. But if anybody's also interested, much more of a sports, baseball fan, and even if you're not, there's a great 2-parter from the Dollop podcast that goes into, and again, I can't think of the individual's name off the top of my head, but follows their history in baseball throughout the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. But these guys, realistically, only up until probably baseball, in the 90s, these guys were all shit canned the entire time.
I believe it.
So you said 1984?
That was the longest game.
They were probably all drunk.
You might be right.
Realistically.
I mean, think about it. You don't really have to do anything to play baseball unless you're a pitcher and a catcher.
Right.
Because you could stand out in left field for an entire game and not have a ball hit to you.
Exactly.
So stuff does happen. That's probably why they dip and chew on sunflower seeds,
Yeah.
just to kill time. So anyway, Most home runs in a game. Do you know how many? Or can you take a guess?
Most home runs in a game.
18 players share this record.
I'm going to say, so most home runs by any one person.
By a single person in one game, 18 players have the same total.
I'm going to say 6.
That's a lot. It's only 4.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, it's only 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I went a little high.
It's very hard to do.
Oh, I can imagine.
One of the most memorable times was when Jackie Robinson hit, I believe it was Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Hit 4 home runs in 4 consecutive at-bats. But it was from the last at-bat of one game.
Oh, okay.
And then 3 at-bats in the next game.
Still. That's wild.
Incredible.
Oh, my God.
So you know what a triple is, right?
Yeah.
When you hit it and you go to third base.
Correct.
So triples are incredibly hard to get. And
Yeah.
even harder than hitting a home run.
Yeah.
So the all-time leader in triples, Sam Crawford, hit 309 over his career.
Wow.
All-time record.
Yeah.
The next closest player was barely within 20. In fact, only the top 8 on that list even cracked 200 all-time.
Oh, my God.
And this was what really got me. And this goes to show you how it's dying out. At this point, if someone gets 5 in a season, that's a lot of triples.
Wow.
The only player on the list to begin his career after 1990 was Kenny Lofton, and he was only able to crack the top 110 people.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Is it just because of the fact is that people are playing for longer, meaning that they start playing at a younger age?
I think what it really is, and I'm going to go into it kind of with a little bit with my next stat, that baseball players now don't hit for average like they used to. In fact, baseball players strike out a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
When 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it was almost like everyone hit 300.
Okay.
And 300 is a solid batting average.
Yeah.
Okay. Only 20 players have ever hit 400.
Yeah.
And 5 of them have actually done it more than once. So, but Ted Williams, people talk about Ted Williams all the time.
Yeah.
He was the last person to hit 400 in a season, and it was in 1944. So the game is shifting away from contact oriented, and people just want to hit home runs now. So it's leading to more strikeouts because it's bigger. It's almost like risk reward. You can play it safe and hit a single, or you can swing with all your might and hit a home run.
It just sounds. Oh goodness! It just sounds like baseball has become, as a result of that, so boring.
It's definitely changed.
And I found it to be genuinely, and I mean it sincerely, unfortunate. I can imagine, yes, if I was watching a full game and I knew that, I don't know, for argument's sake, I knew that there were going to be at least 5 people getting up at bat because of the fact that there were going to be at least 3 base hits, per half inning. I'd be like, oh, that's exciting then. What's going to wind up happening?
Right.
But now it sounds boring then, almost like a home run derby,
kind of,
with more people on the field.
There's this phrase that a lot of baseball analysts use now. It's called the 3 true outcomes. So it's either a home run, an out, or a strikeout. And that is the predominant metrics predominantly that are, that's the highest number. There's way more strikeouts now than ever. There's way more home runs now than ever. And you don't really see
I think we got to start boozing up the league again.
You think? Is that what made them see and contact the ball better?
I mean, imagine when you're lit up.
Yeah. I'm not good at baseball lit up.
No, but imagine, what winds up happening. Every once in a while you get those get those beer reflexes. Sure. So if I've got a ball being thrown at me at 80, 90 miles per hour, I feel like it is going to be one of those where you're like, yeah, I'm ready for it. Let's throw it on over. And you're going to be hyper focused because it's either that or terminal brain or,
Seriously.
what is it?
You're absolutely right.
A brain injury.
Terrible concussion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I only have a couple more.
Okay.
A couple more interesting facts. So I was just talking about batting average. Ty Cobb, who is...
That's who I was looking for.
Would you say Ty Diggs?
Yeah, I did.
Close.
Sorry.
Ty Cobb is one of the players who has hit 400 for more than one season. I believe he did it for 3.
Mm-hmm.
He holds the record for the highest career batting average, which would be 366.366.
But that's despite the fact that you're saying that 30, 40 years ago, it was not uncommon for folks to have.
Well, yes, but not everyone hit over 400 or like 350.
Right.
Right.
So
he was one of the exceptions.
Okay.
Yeah. And he played back then.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's an older player. And then we talked about him earlier. Most consecutive games played, Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
He played 2,632 consecutive games.
Oh my God. What could his ball and rotator cuffs look like?
They called him the Iron Man because he never missed a game.
Really?
Cal Ripken was there for almost every game.
Oh my God.
I think he eventually, at the end of his career, in his last couple of years, it was a big deal. It might have been that, what you said, a shoulder injury or something that kept him out.
Holy crap.
But yeah, he was... He really was an Iron Man. And this is my last one, and this goes back to the strikeout thing. The toughest batter to strike out, guy named Joe Sewell.
Mm-hmm.
He had 114 strikeouts in 7,132 at-bats. So I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to do the math because I can give you right now a number that people who strike out a lot on a yearly basis hit.
Okay.
All right. So we have, I think I did this math wrong, but that's okay. Yeah, I did. Thank you. Okay, so this is insane. He had a strikeout on less than 0.0159% of his at-bats.
Oh, my God. So that means
over the course of his career.
He could have went for numerous seasons without being struck out.
Yeah, he was a perennial 300 hitter over 14 seasons with the Yankees and Indians. His career rate of one strikeout for nearly every 63 at-bats is by far the best in history. He struck out 3 times in 1932 in 503 at-bats over the course of the entire season. So players today routinely strike out 3 times a game. Like, routinely.
And he didn't do it.
He did 3 times in an entire season.
Oh, my
God. So he had a 0.015% strikeout rate. Players now, and I mean like on the extreme end of the spectrum, 40% of the time they strike out, 35% of the time.
I'm telling you, booze them up.
Give them the booze.
I want to see a bunch of strapping, stronger than life he-men with bats and balls. Just hey, I like you went for that one. Just absolutely knackered, getting up and seeing what's going to happen.
That would be interesting, except I feel like the pitcher is not allowed to drink.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Just
enough to calm the nerves.
Absolutely. Just for a wild ball every once in a while.
Can you imagine knowing, like you can go out there and I'm going to throw this ball 100 miles an hour at you, and I could put it where I want it. I could put it by your chin if I think you're too close to the plate. I could put it far out and away from you if I think you're...
I just want
to
point out that I took the high road when you said if I could put this ball right by your chin, and I'd like some points for that.
I'm kind of sad you did, actually.
I'd just like some points for that, if anything.
That's fair. But it really is incredible.
It is truly, incredible. All this hate is just coming from a place of jealousy. I want that to be known. I am simply just jealous of what these gentlemen can do.
If there's one thing I want to end on, and I'm not going to give any examples, but I will say to everyone, and maybe to you too, because I don't know if you've done this, in the same vein of baseball, go on YouTube and type in like crazy wiffle ball pitches.
Oh, yeah. And
just for like 15 minutes, just sit there and watch. It won't be an issue.
I like that.
Because they're insane.
I'll go ahead and watch them.
I mean, like, the physics of this ball make no sense.
I'm impressed.
They're pretty cool.
You know what, folks? Well, you go ahead and do that. What I also want you to do, go over to Instagram.
Oh, yeah. That's probably a good idea.
Go over to Instagram and look us up at Beers and Podcast.
Beers and Podcast. That's probably my favorite account, by the way.
I think so.
The Instagram account.
Then if you're like, oh, but I've already done that, Nick. Hang on. I have more instructions.
You go to Twitter.
You can go to Twitter.
And follow us at Beers and One.
You can.
And if that's not enough, or if you've done those things already,
you can shoot us an email then at beersandpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us that you've already done these things. I've got beers I want you to try. I've got topics I want you to talk about.
That would be an interesting one.
Yeah. What are you waiting for? Get up to bat.
Don't wait for me. Step up to the plate.
I don't know how many more puns we could possibly
probably
do.
Not many,
yeah,
so
we're just pitching this out there at you.
I'm gonna go pack up my equipment
Yeah.
so we can get out of here.
So we can get on. Yeah, I should probably go ahead and fly on back home.
Actually, really quick before we go, and then we're gonna go. Like everyone, thoughts and prayers because baseball still is not on this year.
Oh no.
There's NFL, MLBPA, and the MLB are still hashing it out because more money and less money for the owners and yeah.
Oh well. Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Just I don't know. Pay people.
You'll probably see us before you see baseball.
Yeah, you will. These smiling faces, little Hector, just fresh gem of a human being. All right. Well, we've
really.
7th inning stretch. This as long as we can go.
Seriously. And that's going to be our last pun because we're out of here.
Goodbye.